In order that humans might so evolvingly function, they were first given brains and then access to mind. As already mentioned, but worth repeating, human brains, as with those of many creatures, function always and only as coordinators of all the sense-apprehended information regarding each special case temporal experience, all of which special case experiences have beginnings and endings. In contradistinction to brains, which are constructed of physical matter, the weightless, matterless, metaphysical mind has the unique capability from time to time to discover eternal interrelationships existing invisibly between special case experiences, which interrelationships cannot be discovered by any or all of the brain's physical sense systems. For instance, the mathematical law governing gravity is invisibly cohering not only the sun and its multi-millions of miles apart planets, as discovered by the weightless invisible conceptual thought relaying from the mind of Kepler to Galileo to Newton, and as also cohering the never-anywhere intertouching parts of local universe systems of galaxies and electrons remote from their nuclei. The relative interattractiveness invisibly operative between any two remote from one another cosmic bodies, as compared to any other pair of cosmic bodies equally distant from one another, is proportional to the multiplicative product of the respective couples' masses. And the interattractiveness of any pair of celestial bodies varies inversely as the second power of the distance between them. Half the intervening distance and the interattractiveness increases fourfold. Human minds were given the semi-divine capability to discover and employ some of the only mathematically communicable eternal laws governing the design of eternally regenerative universe itself. When I was born in 1895, humanity was 95% illiterate and needed leaders. Today, the situation is reversed. Humanity is now 65% literate and capable of doing its own thinking, decision-making, and initiative-taking. Returning to the genetic evolution and the history of humans aboard our planet, we observed that only by the genes concentrating of successive generations of survivor matings were design-produced the best all-around average-size humans for average as well as special environmental conditions. Both giants and pygmies were evolved for coping with extremes of environment. Bare-handed giants could physically overwhelm both bare-handed average humans and pygmies, except when the literal ones escaped into caves or thickets through entryways too small for giants. People think of the size of people in terms of height. Mathematics shows, however, that if we double human height while maintaining equal proportionment, we have 4 times as much surface skin and 8 times as much volume, flesh and bone weight. Twice as big is really 8 times as big. Giants were indeed overpowering. Tools are the only intermittently used non-corporeal extensions of an integral functioning capability of biological species. Spiderwebs are tool extensions of spiders. Nests are short-term tool extensions of birds whose regenerative functioning occupies only a minor fraction of their lifetime activity. In order to be light enough to be able to fly, the birds must physically separate out all those of their overall essential lifetime functions not continuously required in their survival and development. Momentarily containing both embryo and nutriment, eggs are externalizable, system-separable, new life gestation tools, which, together with insulating nests, provide the means by which the mother bird may fly unencumbered to seek out the worm or insect packaged energy intake as heat to be transferred to the embryo inside the heat-conductive eggshell in its heat-conserving nest, and do so before the eggs become too cold. Later, she brings the worms and insects directly to the hatched chicks themselves, secure in their heat-conserving nest, an environment-controlling tool. Nests and eggs are indeed tools, as is the womb, and only once in a while carried with a mammalian new life production tool. Mammals don't have to fly, so they can carry tools internally, as do they also carry their hearts, livers, and other continuously interlinked high-frequency of use tools. All tools exist in the universe only as essential functional components of development programs of living organisms. A cut-off finger can be swiftly stuck back onto the hand to seemingly function again as an apparently integral part of the organism. The comprehensive fact, however, is that nothing in the universe touches anything else. There are no solids. There are, in fact, no things. There are only complex, critical proximity and frequency unique event aggregates, interoperative in pure principle. The event electron is as remote from its nuclear events as is the moon from the Earth, as size referenced to their respective event diameters. Biological organisms, like all systems in the universe, are constituted of locally intergenerative functions in pure principle. So too with all species. Humans have a vast range of overall essential functionings whose frequency and duration of use can be developed either as integral or non-integral, inorganic or organic tool extensions of their pounding, cutting, scratching, marking, formative or transformative and transportive functions of survival and development. Simple tool inventing, such as picking up a stone to throw in self-defense, requires only the brain's instinctive functioning. Almost everywhere stones lie ready to serve as heavier fists for powerful but only occasionally needed punching, pounding, or smashing. Mind, which alone comprehends the complex interaction of principles, is required to anticipatorily invent stone-throwing slings, spring-loaded catapults, or bow and arrows, archery. Tools of self-defense or aggressive warfare, called weapons, frequently embody principles that can be constructively rather than destructively employed. Beyond even that, they can solve positively the originally negative aggression aggravating problem, a basic precept of design science. Conversely, ballpoint pens carried with us in our breast pockets because so frequently used can be employed either constructively to write a life-saving prescription or destructively as a dagger. My hearing aids and my eyeglasses are more permanent components of my awake hours than are millions of daily dying and being replaced protoplasmic cells of which my flesh is constructed. Otherwise, I could not lose a pound a day. My eyeglasses and hearing aids together weigh only a quarter of a pound. The same tool can become the extensions of many individuals and for longer years than human generations. Bridges and transcontinental highways are universally social tools. Airplanes are mutually interchangeable human flying tools. There are metaphysical as well as physical tools. Mathematics are metaphysical tools. Interrelevant metaphysical informations are tools. The Massachusetts Institute of Technology's Department of Mathematics states officially, mathematics is the science of structure and pattern in general. Physical structures are tools. Mathematics makes possible the synergetic organization of metaphysical information, which can be progressively objectivized as pattern controlling or evolving tools systems, which can advantageously alter the physical environment circumstances of human existence. The comprehensive name for the omni-interrelated significance of all physical and metaphysical tools is technology. All technology is governed by generalized physical laws. All of these can be physically demonstrated and mathematically expressed. The physical universe itself is omnitechnology, a complex of various frequencies of intercomplementary functions, altogether producing non-simultaneous, multi-frequenced, multi-magnituded, only overlappingly inter-episoded eternal regeneration. Man-made laws, legal agreements, royal fiats are not tools. Man-made laws and customs are not technology. They are political power ploys originally instituted only by physical might asserted and sustained rights. Corporations are not tools. They are conventionally accepted, power-proclaimed legal contrivances. There are two fundamental types of tools, those which can be produced by one human unaided in any way physically or metaphysically by any other humans, and those which could not be invented, developed, or operated by one human alone. The latter, multi-human involvement tools, are the industrial tools. The solo-evolved tools are craft tools. The solo-developed craft tools can be complex and even powered as by a harnessed creature or a dammed stream of water. Craft tools used as weapons make it possible for physically small humans to overwhelm physically either big humans or even bigger animals. Tiger pitfall traps are one example. This brings us to the slaying of the giant Goliath by David, and to the generalized principle of brain-mastered brawn by mind-mastered brain, of the metaphysical mastering the physical. This, in turn, brings us to the present confrontation of humanity by the Grunch of Giants, the supranational corporate conglomerates, the greatest giants in all history, invisibly rough-riding planet Earth while you can see their skyscrapers and factories. These are only the physical properties occupied by the human drone workers employed by the elusively invisible corporate conglomerates.